The time is 11:38, and you're tuned into the mid-morning talk with me, Fazila Isaac, on Salam Media. Don't forget, engage with us on our WhatsApp line 0617660355, Twitter at Salam Media, Facebook www.facebook.com/Salam Media, and stream our shows online www.salammedia.com. We are joined now by the program director of Save the Children SA, doing phenomenal work for the country, Ms Gugu Xaba. Welcome to the show, Ms Gugu.
Fazela, and morning to your listeners.
Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Always a pleasure speaking to you. So, give us some background into the Save the Children Foundation. Just for our audience who does not know what happens with the foundation.
Right. We have Save the Children South Africa, no longer the foundation. Why the foundation had to be stopped is because we had several Save the Children foundations in country. So we merged all of them to create a locally based Save the Children South Africa. Save the Children is actually an organization that was born out of World War One, when there was suffering. There was no one who was taking care of children. And so Idlantin, who started the organization, decided to take care of children whilst other organizations were taking care of adults. So that's how Save the Children was born worldwide. And now it has been planted in over 120 countries in the world. And the main focus of Save the Children is that we are looking out for the rights of all children. And take note, children have rights and children have responsibilities. So Save the Children has a responsibility to ensure that in countries, South Africa right now, we have signed into the UN Convention for Children's Rights. We've also signed for the African Charter for the Well-being of Children. And so, having signed these two treaties, South Africa is being assisted by Save the Children through the Department of Social Development to adhere to what it has signed for, to ensure that we are complying in taking care of children. And this basically means it's important that we take care of a child holistically. And understanding that a child's rights begins when the child is conceived. And that is why South Africa right now has health systems to take care of pregnant women. And it has made sure that pregnant women go into facilities and they do not have to pay. Instead, they get the best services that they need for their child who is growing until the child is born. And that is part of the health rights of a child. And we move on to say the child must grow. And there are several elements that are needed for the child to grow. This takes into account the mother and the child themselves. And so that is why Save the Children works with the Department of Health to ensure that children and their mothers are healthy, they eat nutritious food, and the child grows up with a mother who understands what is expected of her. For instance, breastfeeding is one of the things that we teach the people that we work with, because breast milk provides the child good nutrients, and the child grows up very well without a need to even spend a lot, but you use the breast milk. So other rights that Save the Children is looking at is ensuring that the child is protected. Is the child in a safe environment? Is the child not being exploited physically and otherwise? And then development, very important. Development, as I said, begins at in utero when the mother is pregnant, up till the child is able to function on their own as an independent adult. And maybe I should also explain that a child legally is a person that is below 18 years. Anything above 18 years, then we're dealing with a adolescent, early adolescent, and late adolescents. And so Save the Children works with all children below 18, and then above 18 years, we go up to 24 years, where we are dealing with an adolescent to make sure that they are prepared for transitioning into adulthood. So that's basically what Save the Children does, unless there are questions, but broadly, that this is who we are. Thank you.
Mm. And you did touch on the rights of the children, and along with those rights comes the responsibility of children as well, or they need to have the sense of responsibility for certain things. Now we know we are in National Children's Day month. This is the month where we celebrate National Children's Day. So you did touch on a few of the rights that children have. What are some of the responsibilities there that go with those rights?
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take the right to health. A child has a right to health. A child has a right to promote this health, because if you don't promote it, then you may lose it. Um, I will take a child who's able, because between 0 to at least 5 years, the child is assisted a lot in terms of the right to health. But after that, they also need to take responsibility. At times, even before, let's take a simple example. A child has a right to health, but when a child insists on touching a stove, it means the child is going to burn, and then we no longer have help in that situation. So that is why it's important to help the child understand that you need to also take responsibility. For instance, when we say a child must drink water, it's important for the child to understand that you're drinking the water because your body needs the water. This is around health. Again, I need to emphasize the fact that as the child is growing, understanding their own body and understanding that I need to take care of my body. I should not allow anybody to touch it, and I should not allow early sexual intercourse because I'm also going to fall pregnant. This is where the responsibilities are kicking in for the child to take care of their own body. Then a child has a right to protection, which means the environment they are in needs to be safe. The people that are around them need to be responsible adults, because if the environment or the people are unsafe, then you are going to have a child being exploited physically, exploited sexually, which leads to the serious problems we have of children being sexually abused. So that is why we teach children, we teach their parents to ensure that they create a safe environment. Never assume that you are leaving the child with the uncle and the uncle is safe, because we've seen so many people that know children that are related children sexually abusing them. Then a child has a right to development. Development begins in utero. Development continues, for instance, in the first 1,000 days. This is a highly sensitive moment where the child's brain is developing so that they can become cognitively aware, and they can be able to communicate well. They can be able to understand the environment they are in. We also make sure that a child is taken care of, provided the love and cared for. In that way, the child also develop what we call good attachment, because when you have good attachment, you have a likelihood of being socio-emotionally strong, and in that way you are likely to protect others other than becoming a predator. So that's a right to protection. There's a lot to it to development, and there's a lot to it, because development also means physically you need to develop well. That is why we talk about breastfeeding, nutritious food, because South Africa right now has about 27% stunting. And stunting is basically affecting the child's development of the brain, and so the cognitive output is lower than expected. So all those are some of the things that we need to put in place, and the child also needs to take care of in order to grow well and reach their full potential.
That makes so much sense. It is so important for them to learn these lessons as well. I'd love to touch on, you did speak about, children being protected. I'd love to touch on that and the government's buy-in when it comes to this. But we're just going to take a quick ad break, and when we come back, we'll continue with that. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
This is Salam Media.
Online schooling? Why not? Kurtuba Online Academy is the leading global online Islamic school from grade R to matric, offering South African caps and international syllabus. And it doesn't stop there. We also offer online madrasa for every grade. For more information, visit www.kurtubaonline.co.za. Kurtuba Online Academy, the leading global online Islamic school.
Decades of war, devastating drought, and economic collapse have pushed the Afghan people to the edge of survival. 24 million need life-saving aid, and 5 million children are knocking on famine's door. The world cannot just watch as this terrible crisis unfolds. With your support, the Al Imdad Foundation is delivering emergency relief to the Afghan people. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information. With so many investment options today, it's only natural that you might feel a little confused which route to take. Should I buy shares or should I invest in gold bullion? Randery Jewelers now brings you the Zahab coin, an alternative to the Kruger Rand. The Zahab coin, a solid wealth protector in its purest form of 24-karat gold, is the safest way to protect your wealth. So don't just sit there and watch your paper money depreciate. Change to gold. Call Randery Jewelers now at 031 202 4701 or visit www.rjcoin.co.za, situated at 151 Essenwood Road, Musgrave, Durban. Randery Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
Over 33 million people have been affected by the devastating floods in Pakistan. Homes have been destroyed, crops have been swept away, and roads have been damaged. Families are mourning their loved ones while trying to survive these horrific conditions. Penny Appeal is on the ground now, delivering food, shelter, medical supplies, and water to those in need. You can help save a life by donating today. Visit our website www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal South Africa. Small change, big difference.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
Time is 11:51 and you're tuned into the mid-morning talk with me, Fazila Isaac. We are joined by Program Director of Save the Children South Africa, Ms Gugu Xaba. Ms. Xaba, we were speaking on protecting the children. Now, I'd like to know, is there adequate assistance from government when it comes to protecting the children and actually giving them, a leg up and the resources in order for them to achieve success?
Thank you very much, Fazila, for the question. I would say yes, there is adequate support. And I need us to take note that I said protection comes when the environment is safe, when the people that are around the child are safe and responsible. And so government has made sure that children grow up with their families, because that's the biggest contribution government can make to ensure that families are taken care of. We currently have the child grant to provide for a child. We also have disability grants. We also have, living standards grants. All those are contributions from government. And then government has provided hospitals, clinics, police stations, and social workers in order to ensure that when there's a problem, you've got somewhere to go to. And when you are not well, you've got a hospital to go to free of charge. Now, all those are good systems that government has put in place. Now, what we need the most is families, because government on its own cannot be with the child forever, 24 hours. Instead, government is asking for responsible adults to be around the child so that we can be able to continue providing a safe environment. We know there are many, many other issues. For instance, you'll find parents have gone to work. They need to leave the child with someone. They give the child to a relative, not knowing that the relative is a predator. So that is why it's important that government and families work together to ensure that we've got early childhood development centers, and we've got a lot of those out there. And we, as Save the Children South Africa, we go into those centers and teach them how to take care of children, because some people in centers are also a hazard to some of our children. So that is why we want to make sure that we create a good environment for children to grow up well. And so government has done a huge amount of contribution. Now, our view as Save the Children South Africa is that communities need to contribute their part. In that way, we're coming together to help a child to survive. Thank you.
We don't actually see it in this way. A lot of people don't view it in this way when what you're saying is actually factual. They have provided, all of these resources. It's so, so important for the communities now to then work with what is there and also to stop destroying these facilities that the government has put into place. So I think you are absolutely correct in that statement. What changes would you like to see when it comes to children? And you spoke about the communities, so we can talk about the government entities, private organizations, and the communities as a whole. What changes would you like to see happening?
First and foremost is that Save the Children has been in conversation with government about making sure that services of children are taken to the presidency, which there's a unit we call the Office of the Rights of Children. That office needs to be in the presidency. Why we say that is that when you deal with the rights of children, you're dealing with different departments, as you heard me saying. There's health, there's education, there's social services, there's housing, there's COCTA. So if this office is in the presidency, it will have enough power to call in the different role players to change the lives of children. That's the biggest one. The second one, you and I can see that climate change is affecting children negatively. If we are going to have all these floods every now and then, it means children are going to suffer in terms of schooling, their health, including their protection, because as soon as there's a flood, there's no houses. We've got so much sun beating down. We've got so much strikes that are taking place affecting the lives of children. So our view is that we're not doing much about climate change, and it does influence even migration. So we would like a contribution to upskilling our communities on climate change in order for us to reduce its effect on children. The third and also very important one is the safety of children, which is leading to children being exploited, being sexually and physically, and also being killed. So we would like to see better parenting in our homes so that we look out for the safety of our children. We also enhance the development of our children. In that way, we'll see a considerable good quality of life for our children. Thank you.
100%, 100%. And how can listeners help Save the Children South Africa, and how can they contact the foundation as well, or the organization, should I say?
Save the Children South Africa has a website, and we do call upon all community members to go into that website. And I'm happy that I'm seeing some of the pictures that are in our website to contribute, because Save the Children survives through donations. We support children, whether it's in an emergency situation or in a normal situation where children need to learn and they need to be supported with food and ensuring that they can be able to learn with a full stomach. So please go into the Save the Children website, support through individual donations, through also organizational donations. We work with a lot of corporates who need to donate in order for Save the Children to be able to continue implementing its mission of making sure that children survive, children are protected, and children are developing accordingly. And the other call that I have to make is that we would like to see more men, more fathers making a contribution to the development of their children. Thank you.
Ms. Xaba, thank you so much again for taking the time to speak to us and highlighting all of these issues that are so pertinent and the beautiful work that Save the Children South Africa has been doing. I sincerely hope that this organization grows in leaps and bounds. Thank you so much for your time and
Thank you.
enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Fazila. Bye.
Bye. That was Ms. Gugu Xaba, the program director of Save the Children South Africa. Now, you can go onto their website, www.savethechildren.org.za. Assist them. Ms. Xaba has spoken about everything that they require in order to make a huge difference with our children in South Africa. So the time is now 11:59. We're going to take a quick short ad break. When we come back, still on the focus of National Children's Day, we will be heading over to Tiny Owl's baby home. Stay tuned.